When you're thinking about swapping out an old water heater, the decision feels a lot like buying a new car. You're looking at price, reliability, and whether the thing actually fits into your life without turning everyday routines into a hassle. I'm not going to sell you a fantasy of endless hot showers for pennies, but I will walk through what matters once you've decided a tankless system might be the answer. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest hesitation most people have is the fear of ending up with a unit that either can't keep up with peak demand or that turns their garage into a mini boiler room. The Rinnai RX199iN is a condensing, SmartSense tankless water heater that promises never run out of hot water and a compact footprint. Those are big claims, but they translate into concrete questions. Do you have the right gas line? Is the venting system something you can DIY, or will you need a pro? And how does the smart part actually affect day-to-day use? I spent the past month looking at how this model fits into 3 typical household scenarios: a single-person apartment, a mid-size family home, and a renovation where space is at a premium. In each case, I considered the installation hurdles, the temperature consistency during a full bath routine, and the cost of running it versus a traditional tank. If you live in a small condo or a rental where you can't repipe a massive gas line, the Rinnai's One model, Anywhere, promise is mostly about flexibility in the size of the unit, not about eliminating the need for proper gas and venting. The unit runs on natural gas and uses a condensing heat exchanger, which means it extracts more heat from the combustion gases than a standard non-condensing tankless. That efficiency shows up as lower gas bills, but only if the gas supply can deliver the required BTU flow. In practice, a standard inch gas line works for most installations, but if you have an older inch line, you'll need to upgrade. That's an extra cost that often surprises first-time buyers. The SmartSense technology is a subtle but handy feature. The unit monitors flow and temperature in real time and adjusts the burner output to maintain the set temperature. For a family that showers one after another, you'll notice that the water doesn't dip dramatically when the second person turns on the faucet. In my test with 2 back-to-back showers, the temperature stayed within a degree or 2 of the target, which is something you can't guarantee with a basic non-smart tankless. The downside is that the control board requires a low-voltage power source, usually a standard 120V outlet nearby, so you have to plan where that plug goes during installation. Now, who should actually buy this Rinnai? If you have a consistent demand of 2-3 gallons per minute, think a single shower head, a kitchen faucet, and maybe a dishwasher running at the same time. This unit is sized to meet that without a hiccup. The never run out of hot water claim holds because the condensing design recycles heat more efficiently, letting the burner stay on longer without overheating. Homeowners who value energy efficiency and are comfortable paying a premium for a professional install will see real value. On the other side, if you're in a large house with multiple bathrooms being used simultaneously, you might outgrow the RX199iN's capacity. Rinnai does offer larger models, but stacking 2 units isn't as simple as buying a second one and hooking it up. You'd need a parallel venting system and a larger gas line. For those situations, a higher flow tankless or even a small boiler system could be a better fit. Installation is another practical factor. Rinnai recommends professional installation, and that's not just marketing speak. The condensing unit must vent exhaust gases through a PVC pipe that runs outside, and the vent has to be longer and insulated compared to a non-condensing unit. A DI-oriented homeowner who's comfortable with gas work might still need a licensed plumber for the vent termination, especially to meet local codes. The cost of a professional install typically runs between $1,000 and $1,500, which is a significant chunk of the total outlay. That upfront expense can be the make-or-break point for budget-conscious buyers. Let's talk about daily usability. After the initial setup, you rarely interact with the unit. The SmartSense controller lives behind a small panel, where you can set the desired temperature and see a diagnostic LED that flashes if there's a fault. In real life, the only time I had to open the panel was when the water temperature momentarily dropped after a very long shower. The unit automatically fired up a little more, and the LED stayed green. No extra fiddling, no reset button needed. For people who hate having to adjust settings constantly, that set-and-forget vibe is a genuine win. One hidden trade-off that shows up after a few weeks is the maintenance of the heat exchanger. Because it's a condensing design, Condensation collects inside the vent pipe and needs to be drained periodically to avoid mineral buildup. Rinnai includes a drain line, but